What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Man, I appreciate everyone for joining me today with the live stream, and it feels kind of weird being back in the studio and recording videos, but here we are. iOS 26. We are no longer on the 19, we are now on a year schedule. Look at that file size. Holy cow, that's huge. Let's get started. And of course, here's the iOS build number. It's 23A5260N. So N at the end of the build number is better than my prediction was, because I said a K. It's actually further than that. I thought it could be as far as a Q due to app icons and stuff like that. But hey, there we are. So we're going to be on a 2-week cycle for probably the next 6 weeks, and then it'll probably go weekly. The first thing I noticed is the icon now is no longer a icon with an update. It actually is just a literal icon of the wallpaper. So that's going to be interesting on how to make thumbnails. Well, the first thing I've noticed is a accessibility problem with VoiceOver. It was not having speech at all. I rebooted the phone and we now get the default Samantha voice, and I'd have to re-download the voice I use. VoiceOver off. The next thing I actually noticed, because I had to turn Do Not Disturb on, is the control center. I like the icons. What do you think? I like the blue background on the Wi-Fi icon. It's actually nice and dark and blue. It's interesting. The icons are going to have to take their time for me to adjust to them, like the FaceTime and everything. But I do like it, and I'm going to experiment more with the wallpapers. I don't think I can swipe through like I could with iOS 18 on the wallpaper to change it and let it dynamically change through the day right now. I don't think they did that because they didn't do that at the very beginning, but here's what it looks like in light mode, and then I'll show y'all what it looks like in dark mode. And of course, here's what it looks like in dark mode on that wallpaper compared to light mode. And if y'all really want me to, I'll turn the light off in the studio so you can really see it via the camera. So that's what it looks like. So under battery settings, now we have the percentage to charge. I actually like this UI compared to what I was saying on the live stream back in like iOS 9 days. It says 59 minutes to charge to 80%, which if you have the 80% limit turned on, it's set to 80, or 2 hours plus for 100% battery. This is actually pretty cool. Now when I unplug it, like so, it actually will show
36%. Last charge to 36%. Now, auto brightness button. Now, last charge, 36%.
And sometimes they'll actually show a different message up there. It'll say last charge to 36%. And it'll also say that my battery percentage is at its normal average at this time of day. So indicating if your battery is, you're at your normal percentage, or if your percentage is lower than what you normally are at that time of day. So that's actually pretty nice, especially when people say, oh, my battery life's been bad. Well, now you have settings showing otherwise. All right, since we had different changes to the battery settings, here we are. So it tells you you're using about the same amount of battery compared to similar days. So that's cool. But if you dive all the way to the bottom below the apps, your battery health and everything is at the very bottom now. Along with this power optimization thing.
Voiceover power mode button.
It's called power mode. When you go into here, you can see
when your battery usage is higher than usual.
When your battery is higher than usual, iPhone will basically optimize the system to extend that battery life. So that's interesting. I'm gonna have to experiment with that. That's actually interesting. It's to see, because they were talking about bringing in this optimized battery charging or
adaptive power switch button,
power
back
limit.
Button, 16 of back button.
So I wonder
Power
if
mode
when
button.
I plug the iPhone in, if it shows anything different with the screen. Let's see. Especially at the top.
View all battery usage.
Let's go
button.
back up to the top, and then we'll plug this in like so. Give it a moment.
Auto 35, 100%. Auto brightness, 1 charging. 80%, 59 meters, 100%, 2H plus.
Okay, so it tells you now. It actually will tell you how long it takes to charge. So it says what percentage to reach 80 and then what percentage to reach 100. So that is actually pretty nice and cool. I actually dig it. Okay, I just wanted to see if they did anything different in the software settings, and no. Underneath software update, it's having an error checking for updates. Either Apple servers at this time are getting slammed from everyone downloading the update, or we actually have a legitimate problem checking over the air updates. Okay, so I tried again, and it's still giving me the software update error, so we'll have to continue on this later on in a later video. So this is my first hands-on impressions of iOS 26, or the year 2026 version of iOS. Let me know what y'all think down below about all the updates today. I will save my thoughts for that with the highlights video, which also should be coming out on the same day. But this is my first hands-on with iOS 26 and all of its good features. I like the icons. I had to let the iPhone sit for about an hour to, feel the UI lag go away, to stop the UI lag that was occurring. And I got to see if it continues at all over the next 24 to 48 hours or as long as 7 days. And of course, I'll give you all updates of that, of the OS. And as long as my schedule's not busy, I should have weekend video updates starting from here on out about iOS updates. So I'm going to test it out, check out the iPadOS update and stuff like that. But beware, these updates are like 15 to almost 20 gigs, depending on to where you're installing and what device you're installing on. I was not expecting it to be this large. So you got limited storage resources, you're going to have a not so fun time. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you on another video. And of course, stay tuned for my highlight reactions coming out within the next day or so. Peace.